Hello guys, today I'm showing you a build that centers around using the Solland set, and you have two options, either using Pistolier or using the Justice of the Empire skill. I believe Pistolier works better for the build, and as for the offhand, ideally you would be using the Meteoric Iron Shield, but I didn't have a good road version of it. So the gameplay demo you're seeing is showing Blade of Vengeance is the main sword, then it's showing Grudge Settler is the main sword. But in each case I'm using a shield that's not the perfect for this build, so keep that in mind.
May your faith in Sigma protect you. May your faith in Sigma protect you.
The skills that I found to go best with this armor set are Pistolier Mastered, Rank 1 Break Through the Ranks, Heroic Toned from the set, Sigmar's Blessing Superior, Banner of the Empire Superior, Sigmar's Wrath Superior, Mastered Indestructible, and the most important build for this skill that makes the whole damage gained depending on block chance, which we are stacking. Then Tireless Mastered could be taken, but I actually prefer taking this skill here, Divine Judgment Mastered, and Bastion Against Corruption Mastered. If you find yourself having troubles with maintaining the energy, you can either take Tireless Mastered or Share Ration Superior, or even Tireless Superior, whichever you think would work best for your specific build. Tireless Superior isn't bad, it gives you extra energy generation and energy gain, so it's not so bad. But you need to use skills with cooldown to generate energy, and that's something like Taunt and something like Sigmar's Blessing. Even hitting enemies with Sigmar's Wrath would regain your energy. But I do prefer using Divine Judgment. I think I can manage with the Heroic Taunt, I can manage my energy gain as long as I keep enemies around me. And I've got Sigmar's Blessing as well and Sigmar's Wrath. And we kind of, if we have enough enemies every time around us, we can keep resetting the cooldowns of all those skills due to the set bonus. Now while we're using Pistolier, that's our main damage. It's ranged, it's armor piercing, it regains some of the energy spent if you kill enemies. This we're using mostly just to escape and to move faster through the map. This boosts our block chance and damage and gains some energy, and by boosting the block chance it's further boosting the damage. This is doing the same, giving us damage. We don't care about the counterattack damage particularly. I tried it, it doesn't scale well. This also gives us more block chance, which results in more damage and more energy regeneration. Banner of the Empire, I believe the second version kind of works better for us. Longer duration, less energy cost, and we're not gaining much from the third version. It's just some counterattack damage, and really don't want the third version of the banner, but the second version is perfect for us. Sigmar's Wrath Superior, this is a great source of extra damage and a white aura that burns enemies, as you can see. Pretty wide aura. And this is the taunt range.
May your faith in
This is our
Sigma
Sigmar's
protect
Blessing.
you.
This is our banner. So now without taunting enemies, I can get my block chance up to 75, I think. And we can probably get it to 118 with this build. Now for the passives, it's kind of a weird setup, not what people are used to. I tried taking all the way to here to use counterattack damage, didn't work out well. There's extra cooldown reduction you can take if you want it, but I don't think we need it for this specific build. I did not take this because I don't think this 5 damage for losing health would be worth it, but you could try and take it. I went all the way to here for the crit damage. Of course we got Sigmar's Wrath Superior. Now on this side you could either go towards Sigmar's Blessing Superior and call it at this, or you can get Divine Judgment Mastered and call it at this, or maybe you can just go all the way to this block chance like I did. You could try and get this block damage instead of this block chance if you think that extra 2 block chance isn't needed, but 14 block damage is needed. And if you don't need that crit damage, you can even go for this extra block chance here. So you can gain 2 points from here, and maybe you can gain some points from this pad here, whichever you think is better. I wouldn't go for this extra block chance and reduction to the block damage, because block damage really helps, but if you want to, you can feel free to do so. Play around with it, make it your own. This is just some guidelines on how to build it, and I think it's pretty okay, because you can see just from this tree we're getting 10 block chance, 70 block damage, some bonus damage to champions and champion damage reduction, 50 crit damage, 20 damage, some cooldown reduction, and some armor. While I was fighting the enemies, I could get my attack all the way to 200,000. Now let's see some of the gear. The main thing about the gear is the Solland's Fate. Great helm, breastplate, tassets, sabatons and gauntlets. This is the set that gives us a chance to reduce the cooldown for each successful block, and it boosts the taunt skill. The damage that we get and the energy gain that we get from heroic taunt is much better than the basic taunt. And if you're using something like this, this will give us extra damage to the enemies who are taunted, so 200% more damage. Alternative option I tried is Blade of Vengeance. This doesn't seem to have a limit on how many stacks you can get. I stacked it all the way to 72 stacks, which is 720 damage. But in order to stack this, you have to keep taking hits. And on Chaos 5 from the little guys, if you don't have your Sigmar's Wrath Superior, you can stack it before a boss fight and then just go and destroy the boss. I could tank the bosses with each blade, regardless which blade I was using. I could tank the bosses, like face tank them. So it's kind of okay, good build, but sometimes you would need to dodge, and the elites seem to be more troublesome than the bosses. For the amulet, you could probably take whatever you have with good rolls. You would either be striving for crit chance, armor piercing, crit chance, damage, or cooldown reduction crit chance, although with this build I wouldn't take cooldown reduction due to the breastplate and the other pieces of the set that give us this bonus. You could take this ring if you have a good roll. It's a good option, health restored, energy gain. You can take this ring if you have good rolls, gives us damage reduction, but if you want something different than what I've got, good options would be this Sacred Fire Medal, but I wouldn't take it for this specific build. You have enough cooldown reduction from the set. This is good, this is some damage reduction. If you have a good roll, take one of those. And for the rings, good options would be purple signet ring. If you have good rolls, such as kind of this that I'm showing, it's not a bad roll, you can try and use it. Cooldown reduction, crit chance, damage. Ideally you would have armor piercing, crit chance and damage for this build from the gear. Another good ring would probably be I wouldn't suggest it. So this is it kind of for the gear. For the shield, that one. It's really not something I'm using. I'm not using this specific ability. That's the ability that's being boosted. But you could try and weave in this ability in between the Pistolier shots. So maybe it would be okay for extra damage if you can find a way to use it. I wouldn't suggest using the counter-attack damage increase shield. I tried the counter-attack build and it didn't work. So this is it for the gear for this specific build. And just to tell you something that's very important. The passive tree you're seeing here works great with any set. So whether you're using the Meteoric Iron Breastplate, the Skaven Killer Breastplate, or the Solland's Fate Breastplate, regardless of what set you're using, this skill tree works great with it. Although if you're using Meteoric Iron Breastplate, there's just one thing you need to do. Take the max level taunt, and for your main damage skill, take Justice of the Empire. Heroic. It's great for sowing bosses. You can just spam the skill and it will keep casting meteors where you attacked it. In the meantime, you can just run around with this aura, and of course with the other proc chance boost you can just run around the boss, attack, and while it's in cooldown the meteors will be falling. And you can just keep doing that, spam the skill, run around, spam the skill, run around. It allows you to escape some of the boss's attacks easily. I will do a build video for that set and for the other set as well, so keep that in mind. There will be videos for each set. Now let me leave you with some gameplay footage for both versions of the gear combos I've been using, and at the end you see how both versions kill a boss, just to compare them.
May your faith in Sigma protect you! 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 May your faith in Sigma protect you. May evil be consumed in my flames. May your faith in Sigma protect you. May evil be consumed in my flames.
You're hearing here will be the audio for the top clip. The one with Pistolier and Blade Vengeance combo. I actually found out the best combo to be Pistolier with Grudge set or Sword. So maybe you wanna give that a try as well.
Sigma protect you. May your faith in Sigma protect you.
If you've enjoyed this video for this set, be aware that I'm gonna make a video for each set of this class, coming very soon.
May your faith in
So
Sigma
this was it for this
protect you.
video. Thank you for watching all the way through. And if you want to discuss something or have some questions, feel free to leave me a comment. I would also appreciate any likes and subscribes. And also if you wanna check my Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Mixer pages, feel free to check the last few seconds of this video where all the links are given, or you could also check in the description of the video. Thank you again for watching and keep it cool.